try to pass that resolution on impeachment, or I'm going to give you a flyer.
Yeah, buddy. Hi. Hi. I'm going to put this video up on Portland Indie Media a little later on, a couple days. Yeah.
Which is cool, but then great for himself. That's why
I only have 5 flyers out of 2 left.
Camera mix, smarty pants. You come back here now.
That was pretty good for 27 years old.
at least you know.
What's that?
At least we can do that. Seems like we can march and play music and talk about it all day long, but it's not going to stop it.
No, just...
I don't mean to not have hope, but I do. I
feel exactly what you're saying.
But, sorry, it hasn't changed a whole lot yet, you know? We need a lot more.
The dynamics are escalating, maybe, you know?
I mean, people are, you see, people becoming aware, more and more aware, but slowly.
Yeah. We're not getting much action on the other end from our government officials either. Our representatives aren't giving us much worth.
You know, and I think about like Portland, it's like, yeah, I mean, I I came out here, I didn't even know this was happening. I came out here this morning on the match, and I'm like,
whoa, yeah.
walking by, I'm like, kick ass, you know,
Yeah.
I'm doing this, but it's like, it was surprising to me, nice to see this happening. I didn't even know about it, but then again, I'm in Portland, Oregon, you know? It's like, that happens here. What about the rest of the country where it doesn't happen?
Yeah,
like this, you know?
It needs to be out all the time, all over. Big rallies everywhere. There's a big one in October up in Seattle. Everybody from here is heading up there. October, the last Saturday of the month. They're trying to make the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, be the big one for the region. And it's a big anti-war protest. Bring the troops the last Saturday of October, so 1 month from today, you know, basically. And there are going to be buses heading up from Portland here, and you know, so.
We need to fucking organize.
I know.
Buses to take people anywhere for free.
Yeah.
Just take anyone and anyone who wants to go. Yeah.
I would be willing to walk all the way to the White House and all the mask about here. I'd do it.
You guys read indie media? Portland indie media?
I've just looked it up on the internet.
Yeah, that's a good one to get a lot of actions that are going on and updated grassrootsy stuff. And I put all my films up there, so you'll probably see yourself on indie media here in a couple days. Yeah.
I also think that there's a little danger in the internet too. I think it's a great way to communicate, but I also think it's kept people separated in a way. And not out in the streets, in the moment, in their bodies, eye to eye.
I heard Ralph Nader speak about the very same issue of people.
Well, Ralph Nader, I'm sorry.
Well, he was anti-war. He's anti-corporate. I like everything about him, but
I didn't like what he did in the last election.
Yeah, but you know what? It's so. Well, he just ran.
He kept running when there was no hope, and it just gave votes to Bush. I'm sorry, it did.
You know what? These two regimes that are in there, and it's the Democrats and the Republicans.
It shouldn't work that way.
Absolutely,
the system should not be set up that way.
No, it shouldn't be.
But it does right now.
Right, but maybe he was. I mean, okay, it may have done what it did, you know, and taking votes away from the Democratic Party, but it shouldn't. Maybe in still running, he was trying to make a stand of the
principle, many good principles. But the system doesn't really play that third-party game. So in a way, it's
so in the end of the day, nothing was gained.
No, and you lose.
Well, absolutely. Look what happened.
I tell you what, if everybody would drop that and just vote for the right person, we wouldn't even be in this mess, probably. What's up, buddy? There. No, I'm trying to get a picture of your picture.
There. Please come on Wednesday. Back up these speakers at City Council and help City Council understand that they should pass a resolution encouraging Oregon's 4 Democratic congressmen to lodge articles of impeachment against President Bush and Vice President Cheney.
And this is at the right here in our City Council, huh?
Yep.
Good. October 3rd.
9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. It will be short. You can't make a lot of noise, can't clap, but you can wave your hands at the council after the speakers.
Well, I'll be waving.
Yep.
All right.
Very good. Yeah. We're trying to get Jessica to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're trying to get to the, we have a table. We have a table set up, but we're trying to get to the market.
So what kinds of things have you guys sponsored?
Yeah. Passes on the interstate one morning.
Because Ford only wanted to cross the border into Afghanistan to aid and comfort fellow Muslims in nearby refugee camps. The then Ashcroft Justice Department, Bush appointees, used Ford and the so-called Portland terror cell as a scapegoat following the 9/11 attack on America. He were used as a scapegoat by using the Patriot Act. Ford was a scapegoat to make the American people feel that the U.S. was doing something regarding terrorism, when the Bush appointees himself were committing a terrorist act on Ford and American people across America by using their Patriot Act. America, the hour has come. Let the freedom bell ring. We as a people have the power from Portland to the backwoods of Mississippi to close this country down in protest. And we organize by bringing in the new year right. And we get together on the first Monday and Tuesday of January, which will be called Peace Monday and Peace Tuesday. On the other 2 days, which will be January the 7th and 8th, boycott America. You not go to work or spend money on anything in the name of our troops and people such as Patrice Lombard Ford. We as the people can send Washington a message not only that they can understand, but a message that they can feel. As a people, you do have the power. So put your fists in the air and repeat after me. Freedom of our Ford! Freedom of our Ford! Freedom of our Ford! Peace Monday! Peace Tuesday! Peace Monday! Peace Tuesday! Power to the people!
A former member of the Black Panther Party, because I think some people didn't hear that. And I just want to add a little bit. I see a few 9/11 truth signs in the crowd, and I want to encourage everybody to research 9/11 for themselves, because that was those attacks were pinned on Muslims and If you look into it for yourself, you may decide that that is not the truth.
Folks, we're going to have about 2 minutes while we break down and get to our next location. Thank you.
And anybody who's speaking at the World Trade Center, could you please come get on the bus with us?
I do want to hear. I just want to keep focused on what I'm seeing. It is
What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. Peace. Now. Peace.
I think they got a plaza all set up with tables, and it probably will be.
How many?
3 is fine.
Ready?
How many we doing?
3.
Yeah.
It's a bunny run. It's for bunny. Yeah. Thanks. Only me.
Now! What do we want? What do we want? Troops out! What do we want? Now! What do we want? Troops out! What do we want? Now!
Look at you, you're so fabulous.
What do we want? Troops out! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Troops out! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Troops out! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Troops out! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Troops out! When do we want it? Now!
Can I wear my boots?
Can I get your sign? I want to get a good picture of that one. Kind of right to the point. Do your job.
Christ.
Well, from the bovine community, I say hallelujah to that. Whatever works.
We're asking people to send a message to Congress to stop the war. So we're asking people.
Please come over to the stage. We have some wonderful speakers and music and chant to come together. And a powerful message to Congress. We want the troops to come on down. So come on over and join us. Come on over the stage. Come on. Let's get the critical mass going.
Oh, really? Yes. Oh, cool.
No.
Yeah, I know.
What'd you think of that?
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I just caught him right up here and started walking.
Oh, right.
I'm from Flora Strobe. I got here late.
Yeah, it's pretty spirited. He's good. Guy from
About 6 months before 9/11. Yeah, 6 months before 9/11.
And I found a gat on the way.
Yes, lucky.
He says it's all.
Yeah, my husband had March 2009, and then he's out. Unless, I mean, he's not so badly injured that they'd send him back. They already declared him fit for duty again.
Has he heard about Iraq veterans in his?
Yes, and I think he's going to get involved in that. Yeah. Not much else you can do. I mean, I hope they don't deploy him again. He has a halter thing, all the way through the thing. But he's fit for duty.
Iraq veterans.
He jumps when he tries to. I mean, he just jumps. That's PTSD.
Of course.
But that's okay.
No one.
He can still shoot a gun. He can still
Yeah.
deploy.
I thought there'd be right in the street. He was like
What do you have here?
What's all this? I think most of this is
That's what I felt. It's like when the war started, we had one of the biggest anti-war rallies ever. It didn't. You know, so people got demoralized by that.
Yeah.
And that's due to like a lack of organization, like centralized organization.
Like my son, he's helped in the Democratic election, and he's in a punk band.
I agree. I think we shouldn't do that.
What's up, man?
Oh, not much, man. Every now and then I get a couple of your emails, but they're all just kind of. One of them was kind of political. You pass around something you're pissed off about, I remember.
Yeah.
A couple of them were joke ones.
Yeah,
You know,
I sent a few jokes and keep it light, you know.
Yeah.
But
It's just good to hear from you. It was just, you know. All right.
I just want to keep in contact.
Good,
I just
good.
lost
Thank you.
I just lost my email.
You lost your.
My email's off, my phone's off, everything's going off because
Oh man.
I'm not working.
Well,
So I'm
no
looking
money,
for work.
no play.
Yeah, no money, no play. You know it. You can't pay.
Are you doing anything with KBOO still at all? Or?
I'm still doing with KBOO. There's a couple of us roving reporters down here today.
Yeah.
And our table's over here.
Okay,
We have a
we'll
table
make it
there.
over that way. Good.
So,
Good.
Just come on by. I'm working with my wife who's right here. We got
Where's she at?
right here, Alicia.
Okay. You guys got a little booth here? So a little table set up?
Alicia. Honey, this is Joe.
Hi. Hi there.
Everybody.
How are you?
She wants money.
She wants money.
Thank you.
This is Odin. That's Odie.
Oh, right.
I'm
And
Alicia.
yeah.
Are you filming for Kabu, or are you just filming?
Just
Thank you,
for
ma'am.
myself and for I do a Portland Indie Media.
Oh,
Got some nice stickers here.
thank you. Yeah, I'm with the Vancouver for Peace group.
Oh, good.
My little stand has been raising money to put on Democracy Now! On our public access station. So, and help put money back in the coffers of Vancouver for Peace. So I've been doing this since January 2003.
All right. Good.
It's good to see you, Joe.
Oh, I know. It's good to see you too.
All right, man. You make your rounds.
Yeah. Take care.
All right, man.
I remember when he ran, he wasn't invited to a debate. He went in, he had a ticket, and he went in, and he was denied access in. That was interesting.
Oh yeah.
Interestingly sad. Get your sign there? The other way. I can't see it. It's backwards there.
The red's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, let me turn it around so I can see it, read it the right way. There we go.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
You bet. Hi. Can I? Thank you.
Yes.
I'm interested.
If you'd like to be on their mailing list.
Okay, I might do that too. What about one of these? Or can I have one of these?
Hi there.
How's business?
Not one.
I forgot to tell you, you gotta keep track of the shirt money separately.
Yeah, well, I put it down here because I want to change. So, the lady gave me a donation.
We talked about that.
Good, 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 good.
Thank
you.
What's your name?
Sean.
Sean?
Cruz.
I'm Joe Anybody. I do some films up on Portland Indie Media.
Oh, do
this
you?
will all be put up there, so yeah. I got my own website trying to push the good words.
Far out. Here, let me give you my card so you get my name.
Great, cool. What's that say? Blogolytical. Hey, Blogolytical. I want to get a picture of your shirt too, if I could. Your hair and your shirt. Pull that open. Just what's that say? Homeland Security. Fighting terrorism. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I tried to suck my gut in.
I'll edit that part out.
Film him from there out.
Hey, boo.
That can encompass
What's that?
We were here.
Yep, right on.
Most of these people heard about this on TV.
Yep, thank you for doing that. Yes, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't think OTV did it.
Huh?
I don't think OTV did it.
No, it didn't get a lot of advertisement as much as I would like it to have, but thanks for doing it. Hi. Can I get one of these?
Sure can. Please help yourself.
In fact, I better take two then.
Salem?
Got any information there you're giving away?
Oh, absolutely. This is my student group, Students United for Nonviolence.
Okay.
And our mission statement and some of our fall events.
Just the what?
Our mission statement is on here as well as some of our fall events.
Okay.
And our website and our contact information.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
This is good. I'm so glad you guys are doing this.
Are you giving those away? Or?
Some of our members are involved with the 9/11 truth.
Good, good.
And
So
I'm
am
not
I.
very familiar with it. I'm just passing out the information.
Okay. Okay, nice. Are you selling these or?
Yeah, we accept donations.
broken tail light and they can't go to the police if they're in trouble because they can be turned into the military and likely court-martial. So what we're trying to do is make it so that the police cannot turn those resistors those soldiers who choose to resist into the military and make one of the first sanctuary city in the United States. And then another really, really important thing is coming up, October 27th. October 27th is going to be the largest march the Northwest has seen since the WTO, since 1999. It's going to be an anti-war march, and it's going to be in Seattle. And all the major coalitions and all the Northwest are going to be on it. People are flying in from Idaho, from Montana, from Alaska, and we're going to be sending 300 people in buses up from Portland, and you can sign up for that march to get on that bus over at the PDX Peace Table as well. Join us, fight, resist.
Okay, that was really inspirational. That really was. One of our themes is to end the war on working people at home, because there are wars going on abroad and there are wars going on here. There's the war in our civil liberties. There's also the economic war on working people. Travis Jody of the Freedom Socialist Party is going to talk about that right now.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm Travis from the Freedom Socialist Party, a socialist feminist political party. I'm also a rank and file member of the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades, Local 10. I'm with you here today because I'm sick of this war on the working class here and abroad, and I want it to stop. No deadlines, no benchmarks, no timelines. Bring the troops home now. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, like all wars in the last century, are about keeping capitalism alive.
That was
For us to prove that we didn't profit making. Bombs are made, cities and infrastructure are destroyed and rebuilt, and then the cycle repeats.
There we go.
The occupations are first and foremost a war on the workers around the world. We create all the wealth, we get none of the rewards.
I'm already on it.
Workers drop
Yep,
bombs
thank
on
you.
other workers. We are losing our social services, civil liberties. And is anyone else scared at the prospect of public education right now? Social security, or even the raises around here? And why are soldiers being continually redeployed while politicians on both sides cut veterans' benefits? How sick do you get of hearing on the home rights in Iraq, or women soldiers being assaulted by their fellow soldiers? This doesn't seem really on the government, but it's the way capitalism does it. So it must be working for someone, right? We're constantly being divided. People of color from whites, women from men, homosexuals from heterosexuals. But I've found only one division truly matters: rich and poor. Those of us that work and those of us that profit. Those others that profit, sorry. It's not going to stay this way much longer because we are starting to fight back. From growing protests across the U.S. and hundreds of thousands saying no to war and occupation, Brandon Mayfield suing and getting parts of the Patriot Act repealed, a growing resistance movement in Iraq to U.S. soldiers refusing to fight, we workers are starting to own our power. Personally, I've had enough of this cancerous capitalist system, and I think we need a revolution for socialism. You and I and workers around the world should be running the industries and the country of feminism. Both events start at 7 p.m. and please come by our table and see us today. Thank you.
What do we say? No war! No more war! I can hear you! No more war! End of Iraq occupation! No more war in Iran! Stop! Let us stop this madness! Let us stop this madness! I myself, as a refugee, someone who is displaced by war, I wanted to testify here today. What we are facing in this global war is actually madness. When we're calling Iraq war, there's no more Iraq war. There is an Iraq occupation. When our government here is denying our basic rights, when they are denying our freedom, when they are attacking those who are least can defend themselves, the immigrant and refugee community, when our civil liberties are no longer upheld, that is what I call a war. Since 9/11, the immigrant and refugee community has been under attack. Let me give you some perspective. Just this year alone, there was 1,100 anti-immigrant bills across the country. More than 100% increase on previous years. All immigrants from Africa, from Asia, from Latin America, from the Muslim countries, from all over the world are being targeted. We need your support. We need to be defended. More than anything else, we need to be united. This madness that has been started after 9/11 is having impact all of us, no matter where we are. Just even the country that I came from, who's been displaced 15 years ago, today the U.S. is supporting the occupation of the Ethiopian troops. Over 500,000 people has been displaced since January. So, those of us who are here today who came out, we need to think about these issues globally. We need to start here in Portland, Oregon, and defend immigrant rights. And let us be put on the record. I declare George W. Bush a war criminal. I declare all his cahoonies war criminals. The Congress gave him a mandate to war. It is the Congress of the United States that can end this war. Let us demand no more funding for war. Liberty and justice for people of color. Thank you.
Thanks, Stacey. We're going to have a speaker talk about what I kind of think of as the other war, which is the occupation of Afghanistan. It's of particular interest to me because I think we were lied into Iraq, but we were lied into Afghanistan too, because we went there looking for Osama, and we couldn't find him. And you think there might be a reason for that, like that we weren't really looking? So I'm going to let Emma Allen of Radical Women talk about the occupation of Afghanistan.
Hi, I'm Emma Allen of the Radical Women, a socialist feminist women's leadership training organization. And one of the reasons we are here today is to stand in solidarity with Afghanistan and demand an end to the U.S. occupation in that country. The Bush-endorsed religious fundamentalism that seeks to oppress my rights in this country, including civil liberties and reproductive rights, is the same fundamentalism that is supporting the regime in Afghanistan that violently oppresses women there. October 7th, 2007 will mark the 6th year of U.S. occupation in that country. The year the U.S. threw out one U.S.-supported regime and replaced it with another. This invasion happened with the lie that Afghanistan, especially Afghani women, were going to be liberated from the cruel patriarchal code of the Taliban. 6 years since this so-called democratic government of President Hamid Karzai was installed, their misery still very much remains. Today, the Afghan people are still violently oppressed by the resurgence of the Taliban and installment of the U.S.-backed Northern Alliance fundamentalists. The Northern Alliance are a conflict-ridden coalition of tribal leaders and made up of many notorious warlords and drug mafia. Fundamentally, oil has been the root of the U.S. occupation in this country as well as in Iraq. Afghanistan is strategically situated between the oil-supplying Middle East and massive potential world markets. U.S. intervention began almost 30 years ago when a coup covertly backed the Mujahideen, Islamic fundamentalist fighters from which the Taliban sprang. This was in order to incite rebellion against the Soviet-backed secular regime that threatened Western interests. This coup plunged Afghanistan into chaos and misery for years to come and cost 1.5 million lives. Today, Afghanistan has one of the world's lowest life expectancies of 44.6 years. Only 6% of the country receives electricity, 25% receives running water and sanitation. It has the highest malnutrition rate at 70%, and illiteracy is at 80%. The U.S. occupied Afghanistan largely on the pretense that women were going to be liberated. Women and girls have suffered the most under this U.S.-sponsored fundamentalist regime. There have been intensified attacks and killings on girl students, their teachers, and schools. Suicide among women is at an all-time high due to pressure of jobless widowhood and forced marriage and homelessness. Domestic violence occurs with impunity, as do rapes and stoning of women by the Northern Alliance. At least 1 out of 3 Afghan women have been beaten, forced into sex, or otherwise abused. Afghanistan has received $12 billion in aid, but there have been no serious signs of reconstruction in that country. The Afghan people are not benefiting from the construction money due to theft by warlords and misuse by the NGOs. Private businesses such as Dynacor, Halliburton, and the Burger Group are looting money, aid money which is being funneled back to the wealthy donor countries. Government corruption and fraud directs billions of dollars into the pockets of high-ranking officials. After all this, the government is unable to provide the basics of electricity, food, and water for its people. The Afghanis are not silent victims. Many protests have expressed rage at the occupiers, the puppet government, the edifices of wealth, and the rip-offs. Afghanis are deeply fed up with the current situation, and every day that passes they turn against the government, the foreign troops, and the warlords. U.S. bombs, B-52s, and the presence of thousands of U.S. troops were never to bring about liberation and democracy in this country. It is under the U.S.'s strategic and economic interest to put U.S. troops and Afghani people in danger as long as its own interests are served. The first step for real progress and true reconstruction in Afghanistan has to be the withdrawal of U.S. troops. We, in the U.S., can play a great role in coming together, organizing against the war, and demanding that the U.S. troops be taken out of Afghanistan and preparations be made to rebuild this country. This will clear the way for eradicating economic equality and fight that will require international working class support. This is the only way to give support to give hope to Afghanistan. And on October 13th at the Brigham Roses Center, Radical Women will be having a video showing called Enemies of Happiness about the fight for secular government by a feminist activist there. Thank you.
Okay, how many people like the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights? You know, it's a pretty good idea. It might not be perfect, but it's a good idea, right? And it's been under attack. So Tom Nelson is a lawyer who mostly does pro bono work in the area of civil and human rights. And he's going to talk about defending the Constitution.
Thank you. Since 9/11, I became also involved in some terrorism work. My first client was that terrorist, Brandon Mayfield. I want to talk a little bit about what happened with Brandon because it reflects a much deeper problem in our society. Basically, the real harm to America didn't occur in 9/11 when about 3,000 people were killed, or for that matter over the last 5, 6, 7 years when another 100, 200, 300, 400,000 people were killed. Those were tragedies. But the real tragedy here is the loss of our civil liberties. And the reason we are losing our civil liberties is because our leaders are afraid. And we got to overcome that fear. There are 3 examples of losses of civil liberties here in Oregon. You haven't heard a lot about 2 of them. You've heard about Brandon Mayfield. I want to tell you about all 3. Brandon, of course, was a fellow who was arrested under the 4th Amendment of the Constitution. In order to be arrested or have your premises searched and seized, there has to be probable cause that a crime is being committed, and a judge must issue a warrant. Fear, however, overtook Congress when it passed the Patriot Act, and it said no longer need a judge issue a probable cause warrant. All he has to do is say that there's probable cause that there is significant investigative activity going on. A really loose standard, really watered down the probable cause standard of the 4th Amendment. That led to the bugging of Brandon Mayfield. That led to listening devices being inserted in his home being searched physically. We know that now because the United States, the FBI, the gold standard of forensic evidence, blew a fingerprint. They mismatched it. What they said was an incontrovertible match turned out to be wrong. Brandon was freed, a judge made a mistake, but that search would not have occurred from the beginning if there had been that probable cause requirement. Point 2, there's a fellow in Algeria another tie to Oregon, that has a tie to Oregon. He's the head of the sister charity of Al Haramain Islamic Foundation out of Asna. He was taken out of Tanzania, taken to Afghanistan. Extraordinary rendition. I interviewed him last January. Extraordinary rendition. He was tortured for 4 months before he was interrogated. When the interrogations began, it turned out again that there had been a mistake. The CIA had intercepted a phone call and thought that he was trying to buy airplanes. Actually, he was trying to buy tires from his brother-in-law, but they misinterpreted or mistranslated the word. The result, Laid Saidi spent 16 months in Afghanistan. The CIA admitted its mistake and freed him. He is the head of a sister charity of the one that I represent down in Ashland, Oregon. That is Al Haramain Islamic Foundation, which also has ties to Oregon, obviously. That organization was charged with, designated as a terrorist, but when the time came to indict it, no terrorism indictment. A tax indictment. Okay? So the foundation challenged it, they dropped the case. Now, however, the co-founder, a man of peace himself, a great American of Iranian extraction, Pete Seda, is still in jail. He came back to the United States to face the trial voluntarily on his own nickel. Not a flight risk, and certainly not a danger to the community, but he's still in jail 6 weeks after he got home. The point of all this is fear is what is driving our country. It's fear that drove Congress, it's fear to enact the Patriot Act. And it's that fear that we have to overcome. The fact that we're here today indicates that we're not afraid. But we got to tell our fellow Americans not to be afraid. Benjamin Franklin said, those who would surrender freedom to gain security deserve neither. And I couldn't agree more wholeheartedly. Thank you.
Okay, one of my favorite slogans for situations like this, it's unfortunately kind of perennially a good one, is healthcare, not warfare. And we have Dana Welty, who is a neonatal care nurse and a member of the Oregon Nurses Association, to talk about healthcare, not warfare. Hello out there. I want to thank you for staying and listening to all these speeches, and I'm going to get you involved to start off here. So chant with me. Healthcare is a human right, not just for the rich and white. Healthcare is a human right, not just for the rich and white. Healthcare is a human right, not just for the rich and white. Healthcare is a human right, not just for the rich and white. Thank you. There are so many good reasons to end this war. The one that I want to talk to you about today is healthcare. And I'm going to start with a few numbers. Some of them you know. Most of us are aware that almost 4,000 of our U.S. troops have been killed in this war. We see this number every day, and we hear the stories that really hit home when it's someone from Portland. Or for me, it's when it's someone who's the same age as my 19-year-old son. A number that we can't call up so easily is 600,000, which is a fairly conservative estimate of the number of Iraqi civilians that have been killed as of the end of 2006. Boo is right. Because I work as a neonatal nurse, I'm especially horrified at the estimated number of Iraqi children who have been killed. Approximately 43% of those Iraqi civilian deaths have been children, representing a total of over 260,000 Iraqi children. And I want to repeat that because this is not a number that we're hearing. Over 260,000 Iraqi children have been killed in this war. And since the 1990s, healthcare conditions have deteriorated for all Iraqis, and infant mortality has tripled and is getting worse every year. And then there are the wounded. These are more numbers that we don't hear. There are over 30,000 Americans that have been wounded and probably close to 2 million Iraqis. We don't hear these numbers, but they're important because war wounds are so much more serious and debilitating than the other kinds of wounds that we generally think about. And these numbers represent an unfathomable amount of human suffering. I wish that we had to look at pictures. We don't see the pictures. If we had to look at our TVs every night and see pictures of folks in Iraqi that have been shot and bombed, that are bleeding and dying in the streets and in their homes, I truly believe that the argument about how much longer to continue this insanity would fundamentally change. The number of Americans and Iraqis killed in this war represents a healthcare tragedy. And then there's the healthcare tragedy that we're facing here at home. And they're not unrelated. At the same time that American companies are making obscene profits in Iraq, in military contracts and reconstruction, there are many American companies here at home making enormous profits in healthcare. So we're spending over $2 trillion on healthcare in this country. And because we have a private for-profit system, over 30% of that money is going to corporate profits, stock options, CEO salaries, and advertising and marketing. That's right. That 30% represents over $500 billion every year that's spent in healthcare that's not actually going to take care of people. That's right. That companies can make this much money in healthcare profits is wrong. And at the same time, the number of people who don't have healthcare or are paying more for less and less healthcare has skyrocketed since the war began. You may know these numbers. In 2003, when the war started, 45 million Americans did not have health insurance. And now, in 2007, over 48 million don't have health insurance. So that's 3 million more since the war started.
And over 18,000 Americans are dying every year here at home because they don't have health care. Here's one more number. We're spending over $140 billion a year on the war, and that's twice as much as it would take to cover all the uninsured in this country. So we should be spending our money here in ways that are serving people and not the corporations. And I want the war to be over so we can fight for it. I look at you and I think if you all could join together and spend the time you spend here working to pass ballot measure 50 up in November, we would pass it and every child in this state would have health care. And those of us, like you, that want to help create a national health care system based on the principle that health care is a fundamental human right and should not be designed to maximize profit, but should be designed to maximize the health and happiness of everyone in this country. We can be working together to make it happen. Thank you.
Okay, how about a big thank you for everybody who spoke today? And a big thank you for everybody who turned out in March. We're wrapping up. I have a couple of announcements. We want to give a big thank you to the Oregon Wildlife Federation. There's going to be some people expressing the fact that they're really not welcome here. Saturday, October 6th, 1 p.m. at Lentz Park, the corner of 92nd and Holgate, and I know there's more information about this on Indie Media if you want to check it out. The final announcement I have to make is that word on the street is that Rudolph Giuliani is in town today and that he is at a restaurant on Northwest 23rd, Baby Rose's Deli. I'm not completely sure of these facts, but I think that maybe some people have left to go over there. I'm not really sure. That wouldn't be part of our event. I'm just saying for general information purposes. So thank you to everybody. And hopefully we won't have to do this again, but somehow I got it. Thank you.
What we're asking for is love, and we're asking for forgiveness for all the things that we have done. What we're asking for is hope, what we're asking for is grace, and we're asking that each one of us will make the world a better place. Lo que pedimos es amor. Lo que pedimos es amor, que nos disculpen por todo lo que hemos hecho, y queremos esperanza, y queremos amistad, en donde cada uno el mundo mejor será. What we're asking for is peace. What we're asking for is love, and we're asking for forgiveness for all the things that we have done. What we're asking for is hope, what we're asking for is grace, and we're asking that each one of us will make the world a better place.
Gone back to my phone.